Can y'all hear me? Skinny Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, greatly appreciate you passing through. Bright and early as morning, making it do what it do. I'm making me a run real quick, but we about to get to this action. Want to have us a conversation? Want to have a boxing conversation today? For sure, yeah. I want to have a boxing conversation, man. Surround the century, right? Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Everybody got a lot to say, right, as they should. And I said a little bit, right. I said a little bit, the other day. But the more time, you know what I mean, I get to think on this, right, and the more and more that comes out, the more these fighters, specifically Errol Spence, the more and more Errol Spence, you know what I mean, starts to talk, about what happened in, a future fight. Initially, I was a little worried, you know what I mean, about a second fight. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I know everybody questioning, Errol Spence and his mental health and his physical health, right? You know what I mean? And I get, it's okay for us to speculate about, right? But most importantly, the person who really makes that decision, right, who knows better than anybody, is Errol Spence Jr. Tap. It is Errol Spence Jr. And Errol Spence Jr. has since then, even on the night of, the very same night, hold on. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. What's good? No smoke. Shout out my guy D man. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, D man. You know what I mean? To just answer your question real quick, D man, nah, they don't got a date. But Errol Spence, most definitely has activated his rematch clause, right? Which is what we here to talk about. Everybody has a lot to say, right? We're boxing fans. Some of us are boxers. Some of us got amateur backgrounds, right? Some of us train boxers, right? Everybody got a lot to say, right? But most importantly, right, the only thing that matters is Errol Spence and Terrence Buzz Crawford, right? And I labeled this for a reason. Now we gonna talk about the health of Errol Spence, the mental aspect, and all that. But I labeled this unfinished business for a reason, right? You got everybody saying that, oh, Earl should do this, Earl should do that. Well, the first thing that Errol Spence said, right? we question Earl Spence mental and physical health. The first thing that Errol Spence said after that fight was literally at the podium, and Errol Spence spoke first. And one of the first things that he said was, "We're most definitely, going to do that again, right?" So immediately at the post-fight conference, Errol Spence Jr. activated his rematch clause with Terrence Bud Crawford, right? He activated it on his own, right? Nobody made him do it, and that was right after. That was right after the fight with Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And if you worried about him mentally, right, him asking for this fight right after the fight should let you know that he's in the right place mentally. Also, if you worried about him mentally, just take a look, at his Instagram, at his social medias the last couple of days, and you can see him talking, you can see him making jokes, you can see him dropping pictures, right? If you really pay attention, if you really pay attention in the in that fight, in one of those pictures, all the pictures that's going around, people like to post their favorite pictures of Earl Spence getting beat up. If you really pay attention to one of those pictures that's floating around, Earl Spence is smiling while Terrence Bud Crawford is hitting him. You know what I mean? So initially I was concerned, like, oh man, maybe Earl should, chill out for a while. It's the correct. Maybe Earl should be a little more careful. You know what I mean? Is it worth his life? Blase blase and crap like that. Prisoner, being a prisoner of the moment, right? Basically. But the more I have time to sit down, the more I have time to analyze the situation, the more I have time to to really pay attention and look at what happened each fighter. Earl Spence, bingo, he laughed going back. Facts, D man. Earl Spence is not a mentally beaten fighter. You know what I mean? He's not a mentally beaten fighter. Yeah, he got bust up, he got scratched on, but it's boxing. It happens all the time. He posted a picture of himself, you know what I mean, the next day with his mom, and he was A-okay. And he was A-okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, he took some lumps, he took some bruises, right? It looked bad, and it looked bad the fact that it was Earl Spence, and we never seen him, look quite like that, right? But if we talking about his mental health inside of the ring while the fight was going on, he was fighting Terrence Bud Crawford, and he was smiling, right? Right after the fight, he said that. Right after the fight, he said that he'd love to have a rematch, and he'd even love to do it this year. You know what I mean? So that doesn't sound like a guy who's mentally broken, right? And if you're one of the people who's worried about, oh man, Earl Spence can't do no better. Earl Spence look bad. Earl Spence can't do no better. Earl Spence look bad. You know what I mean? Well, who would know better than Errol Spence himself how he feels or how he looks? You know what I mean? Uh, in the fight with Bud Crawford. For why? So everybody is these super hypo and analysis, boxing minds and everything right there. Everybody got a super analytic mind and everything. But how about instead of using your mind, instead of using your mouth, you just listen to what Earl Spence had to say, right? And that's what I did, right? Because I didn't go jump off the ledge. I didn't go jump off the bridge like, oh, he should retire, right? But I just gave it a couple days and I listened to him. I listened to what he had to say. I listened to the tone of what he was saying. Now, whether I might feel like, oh, his physical conditioning, his mental conditioning ain't there. His mental conditioning ain't there. Well, if you look at him and what he said, I'm going to answer both questions, physical and mental. If you pay attention to what Earl Spence Jr. said, and I'm going to play it for y'all, right? The same worries and the same things that we worried about, his body than we do. He's already addressed it and answered those questions. He said, like, to where, some of us may feel, oh, Earl Spence got dominated. There's nothing he could do. There's nothing he could do to beat Bud. Bud just got his number. Earl Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. doesn't feel that way. Earl Spence Jr. said the only thing Earl Spence Jr. said that was everything that I expected. I expected Bud Crawford to be exactly that. The only difference is what made the big difference is my timing was off and his timing was on. This is for my psycho. This is for my psycho analytic people, right? My psychoanalysis people, right? Spence said everything that happened in that fight, I expected it. My timing was just a little off. And he also said he's not gonna use any excuses, right? I'm not gonna use any excuses. And even if I had one, I wouldn't give you one, right? But his timing was off because he had been out the ring. And following that, Errol Spence said, I would rather do this fight in December because it'll help. Spence feels his biggest problem. Spence feels like his biggest problem was just the timing of it, right? While you may feel like, oh, he just can't compete. While you may feel like, oh, he got a problem from his accident. Spence knows, right? Which is the same thing that I said. Spence feels like it's just a timing issue that comes with ring rust. Spence feels like if he gets right back in the ring after this fight, it's going to greatly increase his chances of beating Bud Crawford. He said what happened that night wasn't anything that he didn't expect. He said Bud was the better man that night, and he said it had a lot to do with his timing, and it had a lot to do with his ring rust. So what fixes timing and what fixes ring rust? You staying active, you getting in the ring, right? So Errol Spence staying active and Errol Spence getting in the ring in his mind is what's going to make him do a lot better versus Bud Crawford. Now, to where you may think, oh, he can't compete, right? This goes on into that mental and that physical thing, right? The mental part of it is Errol Spence, uh, in Errol Spence's mind, it was only a timing issue. He said Bud Crawford didn't do anything he didn't expect. His own timing was just off. Errol Spence, just like me, right? Feels like Bud is a great fighter, but that performance Saturday had more so to do with Errol Spence just not being ready. And again, Errol Spence said, I'm not the one to make excuses. And even if I had one, I wouldn't give it to you, right? So he's not going to make any excuses. But physically, I don't believe that Errol Spence was ready for that fight. And not physically like he was out of shape necessarily, but physically like his timing was extremely off because he had been out the ring 15 months. You can come in there, you can fight Ugas on the 15-month layoff. You can come in there, you can fight Danny Garcia on, a 2-year layoff, right? But Terrence Bud Crawford is a step up, and you just can't do that, right? So where everybody feels like, oh, it's a talent gap, right? It was a timing gap in between Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. Not a talent gap, but a timing gap in between the two, right? And what Errol Spence feels like now, I could feel a way, you could feel a way, everybody could feel a way, right? But how Errol Spence feels, right? He feels that and if you listen to him talk, you can hear it. For all my mental doctors, oh, he not there. He not there. Yes, Errol Spence indeed is there. Errol Spence, he said in that post-fight interview, he said, it wasn't nothing that I wasn't expecting. He said he was strong. I knew that. He said it was just my timing, and he was catching me in between my shots. Errol Spence said he was catching me in between my shots. So everything, yeah, the mental doctor, the YouTube mental doctors, right? The mental doctors, right? All the mental doctors, Errol Spence should do this, Errol Spence should do that, Errol Spence should do this, Errol Spence should do that. Well, mentally, Errol Spence then already figured out what he believes is the answers to making, that second, doing a lot better in that second fight rather than the first. So for all my mental doctors, right? For all my mental doctors, you know, that man is in perfectly good mental health. He's the one that asked for the immediate rematch right after, which he activated, right? He already said it was a timing issue. You know what I mean? And how you fix rust, how you fix timing, your timing being off. Your timing being off is simply just you being uh, rusty. So what EJ feel like is if he get right back in the ring in that immediate rematch, which he already activated, the loser of the fight activates their rematch clause. So people, what that mean is that we got another fight. You know what I mean? What that mean is that we have another fight, right? Rather you like it, whether you want to believe it, right? Whether it makes sense to you or not, right? Whether it's what you want to see or it's not what you want to see, right? Whether you're going to go to it or whether you're not going to go to it, or whether you're not going to go to it. You know what I mean? It's the second fight happening. And EJ feel like that he got the answers to the second fight. For all my mental people, go check out his social medias. Go check out his social medias. Did y'all see my did y'all, and I'm finna bring this camera on, we finna roll it, we finna get this wake and bake on. Did y'all happen to see Earl Spence Jr.'s? Did y'all happen to see Earl Spence Jr.'s IG post? Or did y'all happen to see my banner when y'all came in here? I know sometimes y'all don't check the banner. But did y'all see the banners? You know, when I came in here, he said, Earl Spence came in, he said, my head is up. Y'all don't think Earl Spence can win that fight. Earl Spence think he can win that fight, right? It ain't about our mental health. It's about his mental health and mentally where he at. That man been fighting his whole life. He feel like, yeah, you did that. You did that to me because I was out the ring so long. But now what I want to do is I want to run this thing back in December. You know what I mean? So it's a fight left to be had. It's up to them. It's a fight left to be had. And it's up to them. You know what I mean? It's a fight left to be had. And I ain't gonna say it's up to them. It's up to Errol Spence. I mean, it's up to Bud Crawford. Because Errol Spence already told you what he want to do. Errol Spence already told you. You know, I'm activating my rematch clause and I want to do it by the end of the year. Now the problem with that is, Terrence Bud Crawford, he came out, right? Which is why I titled this what I titled it. Terrence Bud Crawford, he came out and he said he's not really in a rush to get back in the ring before the end of the year, right? So my thing with that is unfinished business. Earl Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, before this first fight, agreed to a rematch. Agreed to a rematch clause, right? They agreed to a rematch clause to happen by the end of the year. You know what I mean? Earl Spence lost the fight. Earl Spence activated his rematch clause. You know what I mean? Earl Spence lost, and he activated his rematch clause. Right now, he said he will rather for the rematch to be at 154 pounds. And Terrence Bud Crawford obliged him. Terrence Bud Crawford said, "You know what? I had trouble. Like, pay attention to the wording, y'all. Pay attention to the wording, right? The people gonna say excuses. Pay attention to the wording." Terrence Bud Crawford said, "I had trouble making 147 pounds too." Right? I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it slow for the people in the back. He said, "I had trouble making 147 pounds too," which means that it's already understood. Meaning that it's already understood that Errol Spence had trouble making that weight, right? So for all my psycho analysis, right? All my psycho analytic doctors, right? All my psychoanalytic doctors, right? My bad. For all my psychoanalytic doctors, right? Earl Spence has already told you that he wants the rematch. Earl Spence told you how he lost. He told you why he lost. And he told you that he gonna do a lot better that second time, right? So we could feel like it's a talent gap. We can, as people who not getting in the ring, as people who don't throw hands for a living, right? We could feel like it's a talent gap. We can feel like it's nothing that Errol Spence can do with him. We could feel like the same thing gonna happen again. And even if it do happen again, right, it ain't up to us. You know what I mean? It's up to them. You feel like, oh, Earl Spence ain't gonna be the same. Earl Spence, this, that. Earl Spence was the same. Earl Spence was the same as soon as that fight was over. You know what I mean? Earl Spence was the same as soon as that fight was over. Earl Spence was the one that brought up that rematch clause at the press conference when asked about it. They asked Earl Spence, do he feel like it was this anything that you wasn't expecting? Earl Spence said, no, I was expecting it. It was a timing issue. You know what I mean? It was a timing issue. right? But what the thing that's left unsaid, but the thing that's going on is the weight is remember Terrence Crawford. Y'all remember Terrence Bud Crawford said, when I beat Earl Spence, y'all gonna say that he was weight drained and that he stayed at the division too long. Now this was years ago. This was before the fight happened. Right? Y'all remember Terrence Bud Crawford said, when I beat Earl Spence, everybody gonna say he was weight drained and stayed at the division too long. Right? My thing is exactly that. Exactly that. That's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? Bingo, Teddy. That's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? He said, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Listen, Bud Crawford said, when I beat Earl Spence, y'all gonna say he was too weak and he stayed at the division too long. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? It was that they had a lot to do with. But acknowledged in Earl Spence acknowledged that. Bud Crawford said, when they told Bud Crawford, Earl Spence said he wanted to have that rematch, but he would much rather do it at 154. The first thing Bud Crawford said was, I don't got no problem doing it. I don't got no problem doing it at 47 because I had trouble making that weight too. You know what I mean? So it's understood that he know that wasn't the best Errol Spence. And Errol Spence, right? Errol Spence, Errol Spence never did make an excuse, right? Because at the podium, Errol Spence said my timing was off. Errol Spence said I was weight drained. He said my timing was a little off. But when we do it again, I'm gonna be better. He said that he said that he agreed to the weight. Like he said that he agreed to the weight like a grown man. And he ain't gonna make no excuses. He agreed to get down to the weight. That's what he did. You know what I mean? But we all know that we never seen Errol Spence look like that before in the boxing ring. At least I never seen Errol Spence look like that before in the boxing ring, right? So even if Bud Crawford is just that much better than Errol Spence, right? Even if he is just that much better than Errol Spence. I bet y'all. Even if he is just that much better than Errol Spence, right? Right? How you end all that? Some people sold. Some people you don't gotta convince anymore. Right? Some people you sold. Some people you don't gotta convince anymore. Some people say, you know what, you beat them, move. Some people say, you know what, you beat them, move. Some people say you beat them. You know what? It is what it is, right? But then you got some people, right, who still got that doubt. You even got Errol Spence, who still feel like he can fuck with you, right? Some fans may not feel like he can fuck with you, but Errol Spence said it himself. He said, my timing was just off. He said, my timing was just off. And then they asked him about the weight situation and everything. And he said, I'm a grown man. I ain't going to make no excuses. I agreed to get down to the weight. So that's what I did, right? But everybody know just like I know, right? You could say, Bud just that good, right? Which he is. You can say that. You could say Bud just that great, right? And he is. And just like you could say Bud just that and just like you could say Bud just that great, I could say Errol Spence wasn't himself because I never seen Errol Spence look quite like that. You know what I mean? So it's gonna always, if they never fight again, if they never fight again, it's gonna always be that doubt. You know what I mean? It's gonna always be that doubt for some people, right? Now, me, person like me, I'm talking about erasing all doubt. How do you erase all doubt? You erase all doubt by getting in that ring at 154 and fighting him again. You most definitely got to win, right? That's gonna last forever. But you could always have people, right? People like me, right? You could always have Earl Spence fans, right? You could always have people who say, even Danny Garcia, right? Say that wasn't Earl Spence in that ring that night. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder said, I'm finna read what Deontay Wilder actually had to say. About Earl Spence Jr., right? Deontay Wilder said he saw a difference. Deontay Wilder said he saw a difference in the way that Earl Spence Jr. looked. You know what I mean? In that fight, he said he looked over. He said he looked over dehydrated. He said he said he looked over dehydrated. You know what I mean? Type deal. So I'm not the one that's saying, right? I'm not the only one that feel like Earl Spence looked a little different. You know what I mean? That day type deal. You know, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who said that who felt that Earl Spence looked a little different. You know what I mean? That day from from those other fights. But I'm about to read what Deontay Wilder had to say. Deontay Wilder said Earl Spence looked dehydrated, right? So you can say what you want to say, right? You can say what you want to say. And even Bud said, right? Bud said years back, when I beat Earl, y'all gonna say that he was dehydrated. Y'all gonna say that he was dehydrated and he stayed at that division too long. You know, y'all gonna say that he was dehydrated and he stayed at that division. Y'all gonna say that he was dehydrated and he stayed at that division too long. He said, "I like your take, Skinny. Absolutely excellent show. Appreciate you, appreciate you. You know what I mean? He said, y'all gonna say that he stayed at that division. He was weak and that he stayed at that division too long. Even Deontay Wilder said, just look at his skin. Look at Earl Spence's skin, right? And he looked dehydrated just from how his skin looked. And now some of us might not be able to peep that, right? But Deontay Wilder, right, will be able to peep that. And that's not nothing that Errol Spence said, right? That's something that somebody else gave their take on it, right? Like just like somebody else giving their take, Errol Spence can't compete with him. Errol Spence can't do this. It's a talent gap. Like, right? So Deontay Wilder is giving his analysis on the situation just like anybody else. So for a motherfucker to be like Deontay Wilder know what he talking about. Negro, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I'm gonna value your opinion. I'm gonna value your opinion over Deontay Wilder's opinion, right? So it's people out here, not just Earl Spence fans, right? Who need answers, right? Because we never seen Earl Spence Jr. look like that before. You know what I mean? We never seen him look like that before. And I'm not saying whether you believe that Bud is just that better, whether you believe that Bud is just that much better, right? Whether you believe, whether you believe that Bud is just that much better, right? Go. Whether you believe Bud is just that much better, right? Or whether you believe Earl Spence was a little off. You know what I mean? But there are people who believe that Earl Spence was a little off. And there are people who believe that Terence Crawford just that better. What I'm saying is, it's gonna always be that doubt. It's gonna always be that doubt. You know what I mean? It's gonna always be that doubt in some people's mind that Earl Spence Jr. wasn't right. You know what I mean? And Deontay Wilder is one of those people. The, what I'm on right now is just about erasing all doubt. I ain't making no excuse for nobody, right? But this just is about erasing about Earl Spence being dehydrated. He said something like you could see it in Deontay Wilder's skin. You know what I mean? He was Deontay Wilder said you can see in the Errol Spence skin that he was dehydrated. My guy Aaron Delator said, I don't care what you say. That boy turns Crawford on PEDs and his gloves will stack point blank period. I don't care. We can argue if you want. Those are facts. I ain't gonna say Bud stack the gloves. I ain't gonna say he on no steroids or nothing like that. 'Cause I never heard of Bud using steroids. Never been caught with steroids. I'm not finna start doing that bust ass shit. You know what I mean? I ain't finna start that. He ain't use no steroids. The gloves, he said the gloves, the gloves, the gloves, but it wasn't no glove issue. Like, man, we ain't going down that road. We ain't going down that road, dog. We ain't going down the road. Y'all gonna make, if Earl ain't gonna make no excuses, we ain't gonna make no excuses for him. What I'm talking about is just the shit that I saw. I'm talking about the shit that Deontay Wilder saw, right? I'm talking about stuff that other people feel like, right? We all could see. Even Terrence Crawford said it. He said when Terrence Crawford sat down for the interview, when Terrence Crawford sat down for the interview, they asked him. They said Errol Spence said he wanted to run it back, but he wanted to do it at 54. Terrence Crawford, the first words he said was, "Yeah, I don't mind doing it back at 54 because I had trouble making weight too." That means that Terrence Crawford know that Errol Spence had trouble making weight. You know what I mean? Now he might have had way more trouble making that weight than you did, right? Which you showed. But even Terrence Crawford know, because he said it out of his mouth, that Errol Spence had trouble making that weight. I have a hard time believing. Now, if you do it again, you end all doubt, which is what I'm talking about. I have a hard time believing that Terrence Crawford is that much better than Errol Spence, even if he is better than him. You know what I mean? I have a hard time believing that he is that much better than him, what he showed that night. And if you want me to give you some examples, people come back from getting knocked out all the time and go on to be great. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, you know what I mean? Shit happens. Sometimes you get knocked down, you get back up. Marvin Hagler, it happens all the time. So we got to stop, being fickle ass boxing fans and throwing people away after one loss. Imagine if a nigga threw Muhammad Ali away after one loss, or George Foreman away after one loss. George Foreman got knocked out, came back to be great, or George Foreman out after one loss, or Joe Frazier out after one loss. Evander Holyfield got 11 losses. What if we threw him out after one loss? Y'all got to stop doing it, bro. Errol Spence don't. He should retire. He stopped. But this because of the car accident. Okay, even if he do got scar tissue, right? Who else did you see get to Errol Spence like that? Niggas is not getting to Errol Spence like that because you got to deal with what he got coming back on the other side. That Saturday night, Earl didn't have much coming back on the other side, which is what led us to believe that, bro, something wrong with dude. It's something wrong with his weight. He dehydrated. He tired or something like that. But I'm about to read what Deontay Wilder had to say, right? So this ain't me. So this ain't me, this ain't, just me, right? It's me. I feel like he was dehydrated too, right? I feel like it was a weight issue too. Not making the excuse, because like he said, grown ass man said, I got in the ring, I signed for the weight, I got in the ring, he took his L. He most definitely deserved that loss. You know what I mean? But to act like there was no problem at all, to act like that was the best Errol Spence that Terrence Crawford beat that night, that's just blasphemy. And to act like, oh, he shouldn't rematch him again, that's just blasphemy also. If he do it again, we got our answer. But they do got real unfinished business. And the business says that Terrence Bud Crawford has to fight Errol Spence before the year over with. I hope Bud Crawford don't get into this, let me stretch this fight out and get some more time, because Errol Spence clearly just said he feel like his problem was because of the layoff. He feel like his problem was because his timing was off. Basically, he felt rusty. So how do you counteract rust? By staying active. Errol Spence wants to fight at December because he wants to stay active, something that he hadn't done in his career in a minute since his career. You know what I mean? So it's unfinished business that they already signed for. So believe that we getting this fight beyond Bud Crawford not wanting to fight at the end of this year, which he already kind of said, but he really don't got a choice. You know what I mean? Because they already signed for it. You got the first fight off the strength that it was gonna be a rematch. You know what I mean? So does that part. But I digress, right? Let's read what Deontay Wilder had to say. Deontay Wilder feel like that Errol Spence was weight drained. Right? Let me put that in the chat. Deontay Wilder feel like that Errol Spence was weight drained, right? He said he felt like that he was over dehydrated. But we all know what Deontay Wilder means. Deontay is a country boy from Alabama. we know what he meant, right? We said he over dehydrated. He felt like he was over. He felt like he was dehydrated. You know what I mean? But here we go. I don't know this dude name that wrote this article, but it's from the boxing scene, chapter boxing scene. It said, Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr. and secured undisputed welterweight championship status when he dropped the Texan twice and scored a stoppage in the 9th round. Many boxing luminaries were ringside at the T-Mobile Arena for Las Vegas' historic showdown. Former heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, career-long welterweight, appeared to have trouble making the 147-pound weight limit as he prepared for the mega matchup. Deontay Wilder said he felt like Errol Spence had trouble making that weight in preparing for this fight. This is what Deontay Wilder had to say, quote and unquote. This is what Deontay Wilder had to say. He said, it was a beautiful fight. Wilder told a group of reporters immediately after the fight. He said, it seemed like Errol Spence was a little drained tonight, and he couldn't really do what he needed to do. He said, Bud definitely took advantage of it. He said, Bud made it look easy. Hats off to Terrence, man. He fought a magnificent fight tonight. That's what it's all about. He proved that he was the best of them all, peace and with calmness. He looked like he was in another dimension. I really think Earl came in over dehydrated himself. You could see it in his skin. You could see it in his eyes, the way he was moving as well. He fought the fight, and that's what it's all about, being strong and going all the way to the end. Spence has openly shared that making the welterweight limit had been difficult for him each passing fight, and after the one-sided beating the 33-year-old took, and after the beating the 33-year-old exercised his possible rematch against Terrence Crawford at the 154-pound division. Spence can enact his rematch clause within 30 days. Rematch clause activated. Spence can activate his rematch clause within 30 days of the loss, but Crawford will be able to determine the weight of the sequel, which it will be contested at. So Crawford is the one who actually gets to pick the weight, whether it's going to be at 47 or it's going to be at 54. But Crawford already said he wouldn't mind moving up to 54, right? So there's that. During his post-fight statement, Spence did not make any excuses around the weight and gave Crawford all the deserving credit. This is Errol Spence, quote unquote. Crawford was just better that night. He was using the jab. My timing was a little off. He was just the better man tonight, said Spence. Spence said he was throwing a hard jab. It was his timing with the jab. His timing was just on point. I wasn't surprised by his speed or by his accuracy. It was everything that I thought it was. It was just my timing was off. So for everybody to say, well, Spence says it's a talent gap, he this, he that. Are we worried about his mental health or your mental health? His mental health, he felt like he was rusty. You know what I mean? He felt like he was rusty. That's how he looking at it. I was rusty. I was a little off weight. I'm gonna do better next time, right? And it's that simple for him. And when you a fighter, that's what you. When you a trainer or a fighter, that's what you want to hear from your fighter. Man, I lost because this, because this, because this. A fighter who don't know why he lost, is in trouble. A fighter who understands, oh man, I lost because I ain't do this. I lost because I did that. I lost. That's a fighter that want to fight. His mental being, it's not a problem at all. Mentally, he already thinking about ways for him to win that next fight. My timing was off. It's his jab. But I continue, right? He said, we got to do it again, and I'm going to be a lot better. It'll be a lot closer. It'll probably be in December at the end of the year. I say we got to do it again, and hopefully it will happen at 154. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to read that again for y'all. We got to do it again. I'm going to be a lot better. It'll be a lot closer. It'll probably be in December and at the end of the year. I say we got to do it again, and hopefully it's at 154. You know what I mean? So do they really sound like a man? Do they sound like a man that's lost out here in the world? Y'all saw that picture he posted with him and his mama. He said, my head up like a nosebleed. And he put the laughing emoji behind it because his nose was fucking bleeding in the fight. Y'all got to pay attention to what the hell going on. It's a picture, bro. I'm going to show y'all this picture, bro. This nigga was taking a punch, smiling, bro. He getting up off the ground, smiling, bro. He never stopped smiling. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with this dude, bro? He never stopped smiling, bro. Bro, that's not a man. That's not a man that's mentally broken, bro. That's a man that know how to accept his losses. And that's a man that want to do better than he got embarrassed, bro. He can't. Earl don't like getting embarrassed. I know that much, man. Bro, them folks is going to fight again. They got to. They got to at this point. They got to at this point because Earl said so, because he exercised his right to do it. Now, my thing is, I don't want to hear no, let's push this fight back to March, to May, or nothing, bro. Nothing. Because if this dude, if he feel like his biggest problem, if he feel like his biggest problem is ring rust, if he feel like his biggest problem is ring rust, the exact opposite thing that he want to do or that we need to do, right? If we really want to see, you know, is Bud Crawford that good, or is it everything that Bud Crawford said? Bud Crawford said years ago, when I beat Earl, y'all go say that he was too weak and he stayed at that division too long. Well, you said he stayed at that division too long, right? And it kind of sounded like to me that that's exactly what you tried to do. And it sounded like to me that exactly what you did. You waited until the boy damn near was about to die to make that weight, and you kicked his ass. So you did good job. You said you was the puppet master. When I sit back and think about it, bro, everything this happened just the way that this fight happened. Earl Spence made this fight, but he made Earl Spence make it when he was ready on his terms, and he got him. And he got him. He put him. He set Earl Spence up, and he kind of diffused him with the being his friend shit. You know, because Earl didn't like him at first. He made Earl talk to him on the phone, talk about their families and shit. I feel like he kind of diffused him a little bit with that too. You know what I mean? The boy said he was the puppet master. The boy cold. The boy cold. You know what I mean? But I digress. They got in there. They fought. Earl lost. It is what it is. But the thing with that is, Earl Spence is the one who controls that automatic rematch, right? So for us to say Earl Spence isn't mentally ready, Earl Spence isn't physically ready. Well, to answer those questions for you, the mental part, he is mentally ready, right? I can tell you 3 reasons why. 1, because he asked for the rematch to begin with. 2, because he already done figured out what his problem was. It was his timing and his weight. 3, the boy was in the ring taking the beating, smiling. You know what I mean? After the fight, what did he just say? Oh, man, we got to do that again. We got to fight again. I'm going to do better. We got to do that again. That don't sound like a guy who's mentally beaten. People who sound like they mentally beaten ask themselves, hey, man, do I still got it? People who mentally beaten, you know, say, well, I need a little time to take to myself and my family to think about what I want to do and everything. Earl didn't say none of that shit, man. Earl Spence said, nah, we doing it again for sure. We'll do it again. I'm going to be much better. I hope it could be at the end of the nigga put a date on it and everything. Oh, he excited. He said, I hope it could be at the end of the year. Hope it could be at the end of the year and everything. Bro, whether you feel that way or not, whether you feel this way or not, right? He feel like he know what the fuck he need to do to make that fight, you know what I mean, more competitive. My timing was off. We feel like it's a talent gap. Can look like I think, right? If one dude in shape and one dude not out of shape. Y'all play sports, right? You done been playing football, you done been playing basketball, or you done seen a dude play that you know that you got about the same talent as he got, right? But he got your ass that day because you probably just got tired just a little quicker than you thought you was gonna get tired, and you end up losing the game by 25 points, right? The difference is, right, this ain't no goddamn game. The difference is this ain't no goddamn game. You know what I mean? This ain't basketball. When you have an off night in the boxing ring, you get your ass beat up. You don't just lose the game by 30 points. You can lose by 30 points and then go home. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing, right? But in boxing, you have an off night at work. You have an off day. You come in, you don't feel right. You come in, you feel a little down. You feeling a little off. You go get your ass whooped. And sometimes you might even get through that day because you don't go to work feeling good every day. So you might get through that day. He got through that Danny day. He got through that Ugas day. Right? He couldn't get through that Bud Crawford day. You know what I mean? He couldn't get to Bud Crawford. He had a day office. But the thing is, right, a fighter that's mentally beaten don't understand why he lost. Somebody that's mentally beaten don't understand why they lost. Earl Spence, I already told you, it wasn't nothing that I didn't expect. It was my timing. My timing was off. He solely feel like he lost that fight because of the weight and because of the time. And now he would never make that excuse. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. I got 13 people in the building. I got 11 likes. It's been 20 of y'all in here at a point. So I know I got more than 11 y'all been through here. I got more than 11 y'all in the building right now. So y'all help get your boy right. Y'all hit that thumbs up. But I'm saying unfinished business because it's business. This rematch that everybody talking about, Earl shouldn't fight. Earl shouldn't do this. Earl shouldn't do that. I don't think he physically and mentally ready. Right? That's all that shit is really to save Terrence Crawford. That's really to save Terrence Crawford. If Earl Spence feel like his problem is a timing issue, he don't need more time to sit outside the ring. He need to get right back in the ring. You know what I mean? And that's what he want to do. He said, hopefully by December. It don't take goddamn bruises that long to heal. Them bruises and shit gonna be gone next week. You know what I mean? It don't take bruises that long to heal. That man is the one that went through that in the ring. He the man that lost, and he the man that said he want to fight again. You know what I mean? You worried about the mental health of him for what? I don't know how he go respond. I don't know how he go down. My head is up like a nosebleed. You know what I mean? And he put the emoji behind it. He said, my head is up like a nosebleed. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, mentally, that man is ready. And physically, right, he said, it's a wait. Cassandra, what's good, Cassandra? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. I see y'all got, y'all been dropping them comments. I'm finna read some of y'all comments, man. What's good, True Allah? Shout out my guy. I mean, listen, I ain't pulling nothing out of thin there, but the man does get conditioning from Victor Conte. That's all I'm saying. It ain't like we just making it up. Let's keep it real. Victor Conte most definitely is Bud Crawford's physical conditioning coach. Victor Conte is a guy who went to prison for supplying Major League Baseball players, boxers, and athletes with the best steroids that money can find. That is Terrence Bud Crawford's strength and conditioning coach. I know that, but we ain't gonna go down that road, bro. We ain't gonna go down that road, man. It is true. He has been training with Victor Conte. Victor Conte do know how to make drugs that don't pop up on the drug tests, right? But we ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do that, man. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that, brother. But that is true though. He is with Victor, but so is Caleb Plant. So you see how I can't do one and not the other. You get what I'm saying? So is Caleb Plant too. And I damn sure ain't finna throw my boy Caleb on the bus. But I digress. You know what I mean? He said, I was hurt when Muhammad lost to Joe Frazier. Facts happened just like that. We ain't making no excuse for Earl, and he ain't. So we ain't making no excuses, and we ain't making any either. He said, even the man he didn't like the way the other man's dimension, whenever he see Bud and other man dimension, gotta stop this shit. That man cheat. I don't care what y'all say. Man, we ain't go. I can't just say he never been caught, never been proved. I can't say he cheating, because he beat my favorite fighter. You know what I mean? I can't say he cheating because he beat my favorite fighter. I can't say that, man, until he get proven. Now, if the drug test come out, and that bitch fail, you better believe we gonna let him have it. You better believe we gonna let him have it. But until then, bro, it's not even gonna be until then because Bud not on steroids, bro. Bud not on steroids. He not on steroids. Bro. We ain't gonna do that. He not on steroids. The first knockdown, I knew something wasn't right. His balance was fucked up. If Earl wasn't dehydrated, then he brought this upon himself. Right. His balance was off. Extremely off. Like, he was way off. That's dehydration. That's weak legs. That's having a weak core. That's being tired. You know what I mean? His body was tired. Mentally, he was there. He was laughing. He was smiling. He kept walking forward. Never went back. He was there. Mentally, he was in the fight. Physically, his body let him down that night. His power wasn't even there. He couldn't even get his torque in. He couldn't even get his torque right. He couldn't even hit Bud when he in the throw. The power he needed to hurt Bud with, it was too slow. He had to load up on it. You know what I mean? That's a timing problem. That's a time he couldn't get his quick shit going. He couldn't get his snapping shit. He couldn't get his snapping jab going. You know what I mean? Because Bud timed him. And he said in this fight, he said, I know what to expect from the power, right? I know what to expect from the timing. I'm gonna be a lot better next fight. That man, he know what to do. Earl Spence, you gotta think Earl Spence is a guy who not really loose to using. Most guys losing. Most guys, he go in there, he be himself, he come out on top. Today he went in there, he was himself, he did come out on top. Now he gotta do something extra. Now you gotta go in your bag. You gotta add more shit to your bag, or you gotta bring shit out of your bag that you probably hadn't had to use in a while. You know what I mean? It ain't like y'all acting as if it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the fucking world. People lose all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? People lose all the time. And that's not a guy that's mentally or physically beaten. You know what I mean? That's a guy that's not mentally beaten. Right after the fight, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Yeah, we gotta do that again. We gotta do that again. I'm gonna be much better too." That man ain't worried. About it. We hurt. It was hard for us to watch that shit. That man ain't cool. You know what I mean? I want to see a rematch because I know he'll do way better next time. And the one who looked at that fight objectively could tell Spence wasn't himself. And that's just that, bro. It's that simple for me, bro. That was not Earl Spence, bro. That was not. I seen him whoop ass. I seen him whoop ass for years. I seen him whoop ass. I seen niggas get him a little bit right, but eventually he snapped back. Now Bud is a different kind of talent, right? But Bud is not that much better than Earl Spence, bro. Even if he is better, which he very well could be, man, he not that much better than Earl Spence. So Earl most definitely got to go get that smoke again. Whether it happened the same, if it happened the same, then he's just a better man. You sometimes man just better than you. You know what I mean? But to erase the doubt, right? To erase the doubt, they got to get that smoke. And I don't want to hear. Bud already mentioned that he's not really in the rush to fight again this year. He said, "I'm not really in the rush to fight again this year." I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Especially when we already waited 4 fucking years for this fight. I don't want to wait another 2-3 years. I don't want to wait another year. I really want to see Earl Spence have a fight within a 6, to 8 month span of his last fight, just like you just did. Probably nobody want to talk about. Earl Spence waited 15 months because he supposed to wait 7 months and fight Bud, who signed another motherfucking fight, and they pushed the fight back 7 more months. Bud was 7 months removed from his fight. Earl Spence was 15 months removed from his fight. That's because Earl and Bud supposed to have their fight last fucking year in September when he fought David Avenesian. So, Bud, you set that man up to whoop his ass like that. You know you set him up to whoop his ass like that. And that's cool. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. But we ain't going for that bullshit this time, bro. You finna fight that man ass in December because you got to, because y'all got unfinished business, because in that contract, you said that you would. So we ain't trying to hurt. I ain't trying to fight it in December. And we damn sure ain't trying to see y'all fight at 47 again. So if Bud come on some shit like, I don't want to fight this year, or some shit like, the fight got to be at 47, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. But Deontay Wilder said he feel like Earl Spence was weight drained. So if he making an excuse for Earl, I feel like Earl was weight drained. Am I making an excuse for Earl? Danny Garcia feel like Earl Spence was weight drained. He making an excuse, bro. Earl the only one that didn't say he was weight drained. Earl said, I signed to make the weight. I'm a grown ass man. I signed for it. I made it. It is what it is. But everybody else we can clearly see with our own fucking eyes that it was something wrong with Earl Spence Jr. in the ring that night, man. Clearly we can see it was something wrong with Earl Spence Jr. in the ring. Cassandra, what's good, Cassandra? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Cassandra. Glad you can make it, Queen. Y'all got 20 people in the building. I need all 20 of y'all to jab that thumbs up for your boy. Let me see where y'all gave me on likes, because it still say 11. I know y'all gave me more than 11 likes. If I don't get 11 likes to her, I'm shutting this bitch down. I'm going back to sleep. Cause y'all know y'all wrong for that. And this quote unquote doctor that's going around saying Earl Spence got neurological eye surgery, that's not no fucking doctor, bro. That's a random nigga on YouTube. Earl Spence got neurological damage. Fuck is y'all? We know that he was in the car wreck. We know that. We ain't talking about nothing special. Like that ain't. We know that. You got to be able to get to him though. You got to be able to get to him. It's called scar tissue. Boxers have scar tissue all the goddamn time. That's how you know niggas don't got hands. That's how you know niggas don't fight. That's how you know don't be around niggas who fight for a living. It's called scar tissue. Oh, Earl Spence, I bleed. I was bleeding. Yeah, Kato Plant got the same thing. Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders got the same thing. Yeah, Austin Trout got the same thing. It's called scar tissue. When you get punched in your life, your whole fucking when you get punched in your face, your whole fucking life, you get damage that sit on your face. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to get to that damage. Bud was able to get to the damage. Who else wasn't? Danny wasn't. You know what I mean? You got to be able to get to the damage. You got to be able to get to the damage. Asante Air said they wanted to bring Earl down for being outspoken against the sanctioning bodies and the commissioners. He said Crawford is a better counterpuncher. EJ better figure out how to box on the back foot, use his feints, use his angles. Turner. Skills. What's good, Skills? Appreciate you sliding through. But yeah, that doctor, but that doctor that's going around talking about Earl Spence, Earl Spence, but that's not a real doctor, but that's a nigga on YouTube, bro. That's a nigga on YouTube talking, bro. Earl Spence having damage to his eye ain't no fucking secret, bro. We all know he got damage to his eye, bro. It's not no fucking secret. It's not no fucking secret, man. You got to be able to get to it, though, and you got to be able to get to it before he get to you. Bud Crawford was just able to get to it before he got to him because Bud Crawford is damn good. That's how it was. Bud Crawford is damn good. So he was able to get to Earl before Earl got to him. Ain't nobody else do that. You gotta be a different kind of motherfucker to be able to do that. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to get to him. We ain't seen nobody get to him like that, and we didn't see people get to him, but not like that. You know what I mean? Earl said he felt like it was a timing issue. He couldn't get his timing. Bud had his timing down. You know what I mean? Bud had his timing down. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think that I don't think it's necessarily that he got a box issue. I just think it's he used more feints. He got a feint. Bud counters up out of him. How you beat a counter puncher? You got to make him punch at the air. You got to make him think you somewhere you're not, right? Because they want to put you in there. They want to put you somewhere where you don't want to be. A counter puncher is trying to guess where you going with your shit, right? So you got to think, oh yeah, he think I'm gonna go here. When I move to the left, I normally would come back right, but this time I'm gonna circle out to the left. I ain't gonna circle back to the right. I'm gonna circle to the left this time. I ain't gonna circle to the right, right? Instead of stepping in with my jab, I'm gonna fake like I'm gonna step in, wait till you swing, throw your 1-2, then I'm gonna go up top. You know what I mean? He gotta outbox. He don't gotta learn how to box off the back foot. He gotta use feints. He gotta bring out his punches. He gotta make Bud show his guns. You gotta make him show your gun set. How you I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. Y'all ever been friends? Y'all ever been friends, right? Or y'all ever been plotting on the nigga with some money, right? You gotta be his friend first. You gotta get him to show you where his guns at, where he keep the stash shit and all that shit. And then you go in there, you rob that motherfucker blind later. That's what Bud did to Earl Spence. You know what I mean? Earl gotta do that to Bud, right? In the ring. He gotta make him think that he in the space where he at. He gotta make him think, oh yeah, my natural movement is to do this, but I'm gonna do this time. You know what I mean? He gotta be a little more cerebral. He not gonna be able to bully Bud like he bullied everybody else. Earl. He ain't gonna be able to bully Bud. He'll be able to go in there and walk straight to Bud and beat his ass because Bud got some skills and shit. Bud got Bud got that skinny nigga shit going on. Bud know how to move on him. He know how to move with him. You a big dude, you swinging that skin dude's already hard to hit him because he's skinny. Bud turn sideways, throw his hands up. He quick, got them long ass arms. Tear your ass up. You know what I mean? And they just get on it. They just dead on that. That's what happened to Earl that day. What he normally would do didn't work against Bud Crawford. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. You know what I mean? DS said that's some green shit. Hey, it is. It just happen all the time, man. It just happen all the time in Memphis. That's why I don't let nobody know where my straps at. I swear to God, nobody. Not my woman, not my friends. Nobody. Big strap too. Big straps. Don't know. Ain't nobody gonna know because I don't know what the hell y'all be on. It's a chick, my old chick. I don't fuck with her no more. She be sending threats and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Then let her know. Because you just never know what motherfuckers be on. You just never know what motherfuckers be on. Nobody should know where you lay your guns, where you lay your head, where your stash at. Nobody should know. Not your mama, not your dad, not your gal. Nobody should know that. Nobody. You don't know what the fuck people be on. You don't know what the fuck people be on. For real. You don't know what the fuck people be on. He said when two or more people come together to do something fucked up, it's called a conspiracy. He said why reduce cold in boxing? I'm trying to tell you, the hardest person for you to actually fight, right? Y'all think it's the big dude. The big dude just angry and aggressive, right? The big dude just angry and aggressive. You can avoid the big dude. He gonna throw 4 punches. He gonna be tired because he's using all his punches. The person that's really the hard to fight is the dude with the long arms. Normally, it's a tall dude with long arms because you can't get up on him because you trying to get in. And he blasting your ass back. Exactly what Bud did to Earl. They're 2 inches of arm reach if you use it right. If you fight tall, if Earl lean over with his punches, he still with his jab because he got to get to you. Bud standing straight up. Boom, boom, boom. Every time Earl stepped to his ass, he stepping right. Earl stepping with his jab, stepping right in the bush. Boom, boom. Because Bud standing straight up, using his range. Boom. You moving forward. You moving forward, trying to knock him out. He know you coming to him. So he using your strength, coming to you. And he's standing straight up. Boom. He not even swinging. It looked like he hitting him so hard because Earl stepping to him. Bud fight like a tall, skinny nigga. He fight like a skinny nigga with long arms. I've been telling y'all for the longest, that nigga kind of fight like me. Bud and Ryan Garcia styles are similar. They fight like street fighters. They fight like niggas, tall niggas with long arms. They don't stick their head in trouble. They keep their shit back. Earl Spence fight like a book. I'm angry. Styles make fights. Earl got a box, man. He gotta use his feints. For dude, you gotta make the tall dude swing at you. You gotta make him, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make him swing. You gotta get him out. You gotta get his punches out. You gotta make him throw 8 punches, even if the fight gonna be boring. You gotta make him swing at Earl. You gotta make him keep swinging. You gotta feint him. Eventually, he gonna stop swinging, right? He gonna get tired looking stupid. And once he stops swinging, that's when you strike on him. It's shit. Earl just never had to adjust on nobody. Nobody ever made Earl have to adjust because he a bad motherfucker too. He never had to adjust. You know what I mean? Earl taller than Bud, but Bud got longer arms. On fight night, he did look shorter than Earl. He did look shorter than Earl. That's because Bud fight straight up and Earl squat. You know what I mean? He was punching down on him. That's how he was punching down on him. Boom, 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 boom. Earl got to stand straight up with Bud. He got to box him. He wants to stand straight up. Most people, when people about to fight, what they do? They dip and they stretch back. And that's the worst thing you could do. That's the worst thing you could do. Fuck with a nigga who know what he doing. To dip and to stick your face out and your arm backwards. Bud was the better boxer that night. EJ is a better fighter. EJ gonna have to make Bud fight. Bud made EJ box. EJ gonna have to make Bud fight. He got to find his way in. The real thing that we ain't talking about, man. Earl couldn't get on the inside. He couldn't get on the inside of him. He couldn't get on the inside. When he did, he couldn't hurt him. Couldn't really land on him. When Earl got in that sticky situation, he went straight to, he went force. He went force with force. And that's what hurt him. You know what I mean? He gonna have to think a little bit more. You got to think just a little bit more to beat that Bud Crawford guy. But it most definitely can't happen. He said Bud looked like the bigger guy in there, especially like he didn't put back on too much weight. Bud was kind of bulky. Yeah, he said, I don't get anyone beating that Bud that showed up. I don't get it. Oh, no. If that Bud right there show up, I don't know, though, because there was Bud at his best, y'all. Think about that. That was the best Bud Crawford. That wasn't the best Earl Spence. You know what I mean? That was the best Bud Crawford. That was the best. Big Tex. What's good, Big Tex? Appreciate you sliding through. Right, he said his brain actually had numerous tests ran on it, but a nigga called in on the YouTube show, and his word is the gospel fact. That's because niggas don't got no real content of their own. You know what I mean? Niggas, that's because niggas don't got no real content of their own. You know what I mean? That dude ain't even a real doctor, dog. That man had 2 or 3 fights. That man had 2 or 3 fights before this. You know what I mean? If you let a man hit you in the face with 30 straight jabs, your shit go swell up too. That's what happened. That's what happened. He got punched in the face repeatedly. You got to be able to get to him. Earl can't let people get to him like that. Nobody was able to get to him like that because Earl made niggas put their hands in his pocket with his power. His power just wasn't there. Was it a weight issue? Was it that Bud nullified the power? We don't know. But we damn sure gonna find that at 154. You know what I mean? We damn sure gonna find that at 154. Said Bud didn't even have to change levels. Bud was never going to change levels. Bud goal was to stay tall and punch over Earl Spence punches. He was punching over Earl punches, which is what you do at the tall fight, right? That's how I fight. You punch over a nigga punches. You want to swing right when they swing. You know what I mean? You want to see them swing, then you make your move. You turn a little bit and you throw over that shit. And when you throw hard. That's why I have my right hand first too, to get that first shot off. That's why I fight left hand. You get that first shot off. You know what I mean? I needed to be quick. I needed it to hurt when I hit you. You know what I mean? Because I know you go load up power shots. You know what I mean? What you don't, what you gain, what you lose, what you think you getting from taking, you make up for it, putting your shit right in front of you and just snapping it. And you go hit them first. Because most people walk straight to you when they fight. Think about it. Bud already had the advantage. His hands sitting out here. Earl coming in. Earl will throw his jab. Bud standing tall. Going right over Earl jab. Left. He throwing his right hand as a jab. You know what I mean? So Earl got a power jab, but it's his right hand, which isn't his naturally stronger hand. So you got both of them fighting left-handed, right? Except for Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is using speed. Earl is using power. Bud is using his front hand for speed, which is actually his power hand. Earl is using his jab, which is his right hand, to set up his power hand, which is his left hand, which is why you see Earl throw his jab and then another punch. Bud knocked him out like that. Bud knocked him down like that. You know what I mean? When they both hit each other in that corner, when Earl hit him, Bud hit him too. Earl threw his jab and he came with that right. Earl power is in his second punch. Bud power is in his first punch because he's naturally right-handed fighting left-handed. Skill said, I love EJ. Still one of my favorites. I don't want to see a rematch on the side of caution. I do want to see the rematch, man. I do want to see the rematch because I don't think that was the best Earl Spence. I think we got the best Bud Crawford. I don't think we saw the best Earl Spence. I think that was the best Bud Crawford. And one, I want to see the rematch because it has to happen because Earl already activated. Earl activated. You know what I mean? Earl activated. He said when Bud was against the rope and dropped EJ, that was the thing of beauty. In fact, that's the one that I'm talking about. Earl threw his jab and he came over with his right and he caught Bud on top of the head. Bud just got tall again. He went up in the corner. And EJ threw his punch. He just fired off on his ass. Bud created space beautifully at all times in the fight. He created his space beautifully. He realized what EJ was doing. EJ would throw his off hand to catch him with the right. And Bud was just setting him up, you know what I mean, with their jab. Bud won the battle of the jabs, man. He won the battle of the jabbers. You had Earl Spence power jab versus Bud Crawford jab, right? And that night, Bud Crawford brought his power jab. But again, like Earl Spence said, Skills, Earl Spence, right? Listen to Earl, right? I know how we feel about it. I know how you feel about it. You don't want to see that happen to Earl Spence again, right? Cool, I get it. But Earl Spence, in his mind, right? And that's really all that matters. It was going on in his mind, right? In his mind, he already figured out the problem with him and Boy. I agree with Spence. I think a lot of the problem, a ring rust issue, you know what I mean, and the weight issue. Now, what fixed the ring rust and the timing issue? Them getting right back in the ring as soon as possible. What will help out? What will help out the weight? What will help out the weight issue? What will help out the weight issue? A little boy, right? It may not be Earl best weight. Earl best weight may be 160, but 154 is heavier than 147. You know what I mean? So they help out the weight issue a little bit. Them fighting at 154. You know what I mean? Earl Spence already said, man, you gonna see a much better Earl the next time. My timing was a little off. So you fix timing by staying active and getting right back in the ring. So I think that's the best thing I think we should listen to Earl Spence like we've been doing. I think we should listen to Earl Spence like we've been doing. Bud won the fight, but don't forget who made this fight happen. Don't forget who said this fight would happen. Don't forget who could have left the division and been perfectly fine. Nobody would have said he was ducking. Would have never mattered if he left that division and never fought Bud, because Bud took so long to fight him. Bud was really hoping that man left that division, he would never have to fight him. Come to find out, Bud, you beat the hell out of him anyway. But you didn't know that you was gonna do that. You didn't know that you was gonna do that like that. You know what I mean? Type deal. It took him forever to, get in that ring. We don't want it takes forever for y'all to get back in the ring, especially when one person feel like that it was a timing in the ring rush issue, right? So, man, do the right thing like Spike Lee. If you signed up for it to fight at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Fight at the end of the year. December, January, whatever. As soon as possible, though. We don't want to see Earl Spence out the ring another 15 months and then y'all fight. You know what I mean? We don't want to see you take a fight in between and him be out the ring again type deal. We want you to beat up our boy. And leave no doubt about it, right? We want you to beat up our boy, and we want you to leave no doubt about it. BC, what's good, BC? Appreciate you sliding through, because Earl still feel like he's doubt. Earl still feel like he'll be better at 54. Earl feel like it was a timing issue. So he don't even feel like you beat the best him. Now, he ain't going to say that. He ain't going to make no excuses, right? He ain't going to say that, right? But people can see it. Deontay Wilder saw it. I see it. A lot of Earl Spence fans see it, right? It has something to do with their weight. Now, again, he's not making the excuse. We is. And we the people. And we got a voice. So we going to be the ones that keep saying that excuse until you go whoop his ass again. If you whoop his ass again, you take away that excuse for all of us. You take away the excuse for all of us. I'm not going to be worried about Earl Spence Jr. health more than him. Earl Spence Jr. said he want to fight at the end of the year. He said he fine. He was laughing. Getting punched on in the ring. Stick that man ass back in the ring. Let him get punched on some more. Maybe he enjoy that shit. You know what I mean? Put his ass back in the ring. Put his ass, but most definitely in all the doubt. In all of the doubt. Unfinished business. I titled this there for a reason. Unfinished business. They signed to fight twice before the end of the year. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say that slow. Business. They signed to fight twice before the end of the year. This fight is going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Now, whether you could stomach it or not, don't watch it then. If you just, I feel so bad for Earl Spence. I just feel, don't watch it. I'm going to be watching that motherfucker. Don't watch it if you feel that bad for Earl Spence, right? If you feel that bad for a grown-ass man that said he want to fight, feel that bad for a grown-ass man that just made $20 million getting there fighting again, you just don't watch it. You just don't watch it. I don't feel bad for no grown-ass man that's in good enough condition to keep himself 147 pounds for 13 years. I don't feel bad for that nigga, because that nigga clearly is a superior athlete. So his bodies are designed to dish out and take whatever the fuck that the sport that they is conditioning for has to offer. That's what that man do for a living. What you do for a living? I don't think you should go to work day, because I think mentally you fucked up because you saw Earl Spence get beat up. Don't go to work. Don't go to work. Who the fuck am I to tell you can't do your job? And guess what, Tim? Now I don't sound like nothing. MP, what the fuck? What's good, Brody? MP, what's good, Brody? Appreciate you sliding through. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, hit that thumbs up for your boy. You know what I mean? But unfinished business, bro. Like them folks, a fight must happen. So if y'all stomach hurt, if y'all feeling queasy, y'all feeling queasy, y'all don't want to see it again, don't watch it. Close your eyes. You know what I mean? But a fight must happen. And if you asking Earl Spence, he said he feel like he want to get in the ring sooner rather than later. He feel like it was a timing thing, right? So what fixed timing? Actually getting in there and fighting. You know what I mean? Actually getting in there and fighting. He felt like he was rusty. That's why he got beat up like that. Y'all telling him to go the other way, do this and do that. He's saying, no, put me back in the ring. I lost because I was rusty, right? He said, put me back in the ring, right? I'd rather fight at 54, meaning that I don't want to fight at 47. That was too hard for me, right? Earl is saying one thing and y'all is saying another thing. Earl is saying, put me in the ring at 54, put me right back in the ring, and y'all go get a better fight. It's all of us. It's all of us, right? They got our reservations about what happened. Man, they look bad. Man, Earl got beat up. Man, Earl not talented enough. Man, that car wreck, this. Man, that. Man, man, Earl already answered them questions that y'all think. Mental health issues, nobody with mental health issues is going to request to hop right back in the ring, right? Two, Earl Spence already told you what he did wrong. My timing was off. Uh, he already didn't figure it out, at least in his mind. And in his mind, that's the only thing that matter. He already figured out in his mind, it was my timing, ring rust. It was the weight. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be a lot better. We most definitely gotta fight again. We gotta fight again. That man said he said we gotta fight again like 3 times, bro, in one statement. Literally, the man said they gotta fight again like 3 times in one statement. And y'all telling him he shouldn't do it. He shouldn't do it. Y'all scared of Terrence Bud Crawford. He ain't scared of Terrence Crawford. While Terrence Crawford was punching on his ass, he was smiling, walking right directly to the punches. He got up every time. Bud Crawford didn't knock him out. His face was bleeding. That man never went to sleep. He never, his back was never on the ground. His head never. You know what I mean? Like what? I mean, he had cuts on his eye. That shit go heal, bro. Like you know what I mean? Earl don't get beat up like that. That nigga don't get beat up like that. That happened one time. At the car wreck, he got beat up by the car wreck. He got beat up by Bud. That's it. That's it. Tell your ass up, baby. Get it. Get it. Get it, baby. Get it. Fight that, baby. Badass dog. But I digress. You bite me, I'm kicking your ass. The Earthman Jr. got so much heart, much respect, and love. Always take. MMA. What's good, take. Appreciate you sliding through. But Earl activated their rematch clause, y'all. They got unfinished business. Unfinished business mean they already signed to do it. They already signing to do it. I think Earl Spence gonna be a lot better, bro, in this second fight. Because he can know what to expect. He can know what's coming. Because he know what to expect. He's he know what's coming. Earl just used to being just better than everybody. I'm just better than everybody. I can go in there, I can beat myself. I'm gonna beat him anyway. I'm gonna beat him anyway. Everyone, I'm gonna do it anyway type niggas. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. You know what I mean? This dude, you'll have to be on your A game. Go have to be on your A game with this dude. You know what I mean? It ain't no Bud came in at his best. I wanna drill this in y'all head. Bud came in at his best. We all clearly saw that. Clearly. And EJ came in at his worst. That's the worst we ever seen EJ. That's the best we ever seen Bud. That's the worst we ever seen EJ. That's what happened that night, bro. That's what happened. We've been saying the whole time, right? It's like we said, but we see it happen and we don't believe it. If any one of these fighters come here, now in that game, man, it's gonna be a tough night. If any one of these dudes come here and they ain't ready, they get knocked out. The shit happened. It just wasn't the guy you thought. One of these guys came in here not on their game, and he admitted to it. He said, "I'm not making no excuses about it, but that's him really letting us, bro. He wasn't right. He let us down. He let us down, bro. He let us down." And he said it. I'm gonna be a lot better. I'm gonna do a lot better. I'm gonna do a lot better. You know what I mean? He let us down, bro. He just wasn't our guy. We've been saying it the whole time. Everybody in here, I know, has said this shit at least once. Because I talk to y'all motherfuckers every day before the fight. One of them, if they come in, this is a 50-50 fight. But if they come in and they ain't on their game, they going to sleep. If Bud come in, he ain't right, he get knocked out. Bud fans, EJ come in, he ain't right, he get knocked out, bro. EJ won on his game. And that's exactly what happened. Just like we said. We said if one of these fighters come in not on that game, they get knocked out. It won who we thought it was. One of these fighters won on that game though. That was the best Bud we seen. That was the worst EJ I ever seen in my fucking life. That was the best, literally the best Bud. Bud didn't look that good against nobody else in his life than he looked against EJ that night, bro. And EJ is the best fighter he ever fought. Talk your ass off. That's the best fighter he ever. People say he did better against Bud. He did better against Bud. Yeah, but Bud didn't do that good against them. Sean Porter looked better. Mean Machine looked better, but Bud didn't. Stupid motherfucker. Bud got knocked down by Mean Machine. Sean Porter was tagging Bud. Bud looked better against Earl. Stupid motherfucker. What was you talking about? Bud looked like ass against Mean Machine. He looked like ass against David Avenesia. Bud looked like the best fighter in the world against EJ. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking about? Now, Bud didn't look that good against them. You know what I mean? It ain't that they look better. Now, Bud didn't look that good against them. Bud let them trash ass niggas get it with him, which why we thought EJ was gonna dog him. But he knew if he came in there on that trash ass shit, he came on there with them, EJ was gonna dog him. He was ready. He was ready for that. He was ready. And maybe Earl thought he was really gonna lay down. Maybe Earl thought he was gonna lay down. Maybe Earl thought he could. You know what I'm saying? I could fight him. I could do him at this. I could. Earl wasn't his best self. You know what I mean? And Bud was damn sure his best self. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can say what y'all want. We never seen Earl look that bad, and we never seen Bud look that good, right? We didn't see Earl look a little off, and we didn't see Bud look good before. But on that night, I think we had one guy where everything that went right, and we had another guy where everything that went wrong could have went wrong. At least that's what I believe happened that night, right? Now, if they fight again at 154, and the same thing happened, then niggas like me ain't gonna have shit to say. I ain't gonna be able to say that. What I'm gonna say then? He was waiting. I'm gonna say he was rusting out because you got in the ring, you whooped him right after your second fight, right? And you whooped him at a different weight. So every excuse, right, that we'll call it for me. Every excuse that I had, you answered. You know what I mean? I never seen EJ look like that before. I don't think I ever will see him look like that again. I don't think Bud will be able to do that is what he did to EJ again. And contractually, Bud has to prove me wrong because they got unfinished business because EJ said, I want to fight. So Bud has to prove me wrong. I don't think you'll be able to do that again because I don't think you got the best EJ. I don't think you fought the best EJ. I think you fought Earl. I don't think you fought EJ. That was Earl. That was Earl Spence. That was Earl. That's who that was. I don't think you fought the best EJ. And that's just my opinion. Everybody got their opinion. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I think that was more so. I think a lot of it had a lot to do with Earl, with Earl not being, with Earl not being prepared, with Earl not being ready. You know what I mean? With Earl thinking he could just walk over you. I think Earl maybe he started to sip the juice. Maybe he started listening to us and shit. Maybe he started to sip the juice. I could beat him. I could beat him. I could beat him. I could. You know what I mean? You got to come right. You know what I mean? I know he's not gonna look that bad again. And that's coming straight from him. You know what I mean? And again, Earl Spence is the one that controlled this rematch. Earl Spence is the one that controlled this rematch. Earl Spence is the one that said, let's run it back, line it up. Hopefully it could be by December. What is it, July? It's August. August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months. You know what I mean? That's 5 months. I think depending on the medical diagnosis, because sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months. If it's 6 months, then they fight in January, you know what I mean? Or February. You know what I mean? But that's a lot better than 15 months, right? But depending on the medical diagnosis, what they say, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 3 months. But if it's 3 months, they most definitely can fight this year. You know what I mean? And if it's 6 months, they can fight January, end of January. You know what I mean? July to January is 6 months. Do that shit January 29th. You know what I mean? Type deal. But I most definitely, Earl Spence called for the rematch activation, so that's a go. He said he hope he can get it this year, and this is unfinished business. I hope we don't get into no situation, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, where, you know, because Bud already mentioned him not being, you know, so quick wanting to get back in the ring this year, right? Hope we don't get into no situation where Earl wants to fight this year and Bud don't, and then that caused them to push the fight back for months and more months and more months, and then they create, you know, another year in between Earl fights. So now Earl would have had 2 fights in 3 years. You know what I mean? While Bud would have had 3 fights in 4 years. You know what I mean? Type deal. But I hope we won't get into no situation where this get dragged out or nothing like that. Earl Spence said he want to run this thing back. Let's run this thing back. And for all my mental and physical people, if you mentally worry about Earl Spence was smiling in the ring, getting punched on at the end of the press conference. Earl Spence was talking himself, right? He ain't have to go straight to the hospital. You know what I mean? And he said in that fight, you know, for my mental guys, he said in that fight, he said in that press conference, he feel like it was just a timing issue. He said he feel like Bud Crawford wasn't none that he didn't expect. He was expecting that. He said, I felt the power. He said, I felt the power. I know how to gauge it, right? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be a lot better. So he the one that activated the rematch. So if you worry about his mental health, he was smiling, getting punched on. After he got punched on, he already had a game plan, you know what I mean, for the next fight. And he said he most definitely hope they could fight this year. You know what I mean? For my mental people. He the one that's saying this. And he posted pictures on IG after the fight and said, my head is still up like a nosebleed. You know what I mean? Laughing emoji, right? He made a joke on himself because his nose was bleeding. You know what I mean? So he said, my head up like a nosebleed. You know what I mean? Posted a picture with him and his folks. You know what I mean? So if you worried about his mental health, I think you more worried about him than he goddamn is. He the one that's fighting. So what for you talking about don't really matter. You know what I mean? So he said he good. He said he want to fight. That's the mental part. As far as the physical part is he just out his league. He gonna get beat up the same way again. And if he do, it's him. You know what I mean? It's literally him getting in the ring, right? That's what he been doing his whole life. Again, I'm gonna tell you, I don't want you to go to work today. You don't go to work today because I don't think you mentally in good shape to go to work today. I sound dumb as hell telling you not to, you know, do some shit that you've been doing for the longest. Randomly telling you not to do some shit that you've been doing for the longest, don't it? My point exactly. You know what I mean? But as far as the physical part, Earl said, I ain't gonna make no excuses. I signed up for the weight. He won the fight. It is what it is. But I hope the next fight could be at 154. Terrence Bud Crawford said in the interview, they said, "Hey, Spence Jr. just said he wanted to activate the rematch and he wanted to be at 154." Terrence Crawford said, "Well, I had trouble making 147 too," meaning that Terrence Crawford know Earl Spence had trouble making 147. He said, "I had trouble making 147 too, so I won't mind the fight being at 154." So the fight gonna be at 154, right? Earl Spence also said he feel like his timing was off, and he felt like his timing was off, and 47 was a problem. So him fighting Bud Crawford in December, getting right back in the ring after being off for a year and some change, 15 months, right? After being off a year and a half, damn near a year and a half, year and 3 months, right? Him getting right back in the ring, that'll increase his that'll that'll improve his timing. That'll improve, his weary legs. You know what I mean? He get him back going in the flow. Like consistency. Him consistently being in the ring, like Bud Crawford, right? When you consistently in the ring, you more in shape. Like the best way to get ready for fighting is fight, right? So him instead of taking 15 months, him taking 6 to 7 months in between the fight, that'll fix a lot of that timing issue, right? That'll fix a lot of that ring rust. That'll fix a lot of that slowness. That's what we call it, right? Slowness that you saw. Him being real slow, that'll fix a lot of that. Him getting right back in the ring instead of waiting 15 months, right? This timing. He looked slow because Bud timing was on point, making him look slow. It wasn't that he was slow. That was the same guy that we've been seeing. It wasn't that he was slow. It's just that Bud was more in rhythm. Bud was more fluid. He was more in the groove at that time. Right? Earl was shaking off his groove. And you shaking off your groove against a guy like Bud. By the time you shook off your grooves, your eye swole, your lip busted, you know what I mean? And it's really too late. But he ain't got to shake that shit off no more because he already got it off with the fight. You know what I mean? So him getting right back in the ring is going to increase that performance that y'all so worried about, right? Seeing Earl Spence get beat up right since y'all so worried about his health all of a sudden, right? Let's go fix that problem, right? Let's go fix his timing issue. He might be able to move his head out the fucking way now. You know what I mean? Instead of just watching the punches hit him in the face. You know what I mean? Because he already get your motherfucking ass. But yeah, I digress, my badass dog. He ain't already been punched in the face, so you know what to expect. So right, the fact that he been through it before, the fact that he ain't coming out for 15-month layoff. It'll be a 6-month count, 6-7 month count. Like that's like what you should be doing. That's gonna improve their performance that everybody worried about. So you ain't got to see him get beat on and punched on and all that shit for all my. He need to worry about his health. You know what I mean? Type deal. The fact of the matter is, we saw two of the best people fight. Right? We saw one dude had a best. We saw one dude had a best. We saw one dude had a best. We saw one dude had a best day. We saw one dude had a worst day. We saw Bud Crawford come out victorious. We saw Bud Crawford look as good as he ever looked, right? The best he looked. And I never seen Earl look that bad in my life. You know what I mean? So I want to see, was there the fluke? What I want to see is Bud Crawford really just they're good. You know what I mean? So I think this second fight must happen. Earl activate the rematch clause. You know what I mean? So it's really up to Terrence Crawford at this point again. You know what I mean? To get with it. But he already signed that they will fight before the year was out. So this ain't nothing that, nobody's making him do. This is something that he already agreed to, right? That's why I'm saying it's unfinished business. Everybody trying to move on, do this and that. Is Bud versus Boots, Bud versus Charlo, right? Earl should fight Keith Thurman. Earl should fight Castano. No, because we still got unfinished business here. I remember time everybody was saying like, bro, we could have got 2-3 fights out of this. They had it 4 years ago. We could have did, y'all. We about to get 2-3 fights out of this. So we need to hold our horses a little bit because Earl Spence said, I want that fight. Just like he wanted that fight the first time. He took a beating. He came right back and said, nah, we gonna do that again. Now, this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with. All this about who wanted to fight, who didn't. Y'all think Errol Spence took that beating, came right out the ring and said, I want to make this fight again? Y'all think that's the dude that really waited this long to make this fight happen? Or y'all think it's the dude that said, when I do beat Errol Spence, y'all gonna say he was too weak and he stayed in the division too long. You know what I mean? Who you really think wanted to stretch this fight out? You know what I mean? This long. But future, this the present. It's how we rocking, and I'm out. Love. What's good, Josh? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Josh. My guy AB. Glad y'all can make it. I'm finna slide on up out of here. I'm finna slide on up out of here, though. I'm finna slide on up out of here.